been a really tough way to not lose the series but lose the Ashes. And a lot of people, England fans, are wondering, should there be a reserve day? Is there a way around this, or is this just a freak event in terms of the weather? What do you think?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, obviously, it's a tough way to not be able to get the urn back. But in terms of saying there should be reserve days, I probably wouldn't be on that side saying there should be.
Why not?
Well, Test cricket is 5 days. I understand there being a reserve day for a World Test Championship because you obviously want a winner at the end of that. But yeah, I don't see there ever being a day where there's a reserve day for like Test matches in a series like this.
Some people also questioning whether the tradition of retaining the urn is fair and should continue.
Looking for a headline here, aren't you?
Well, they're questions being asked.
Look, that's always been the way it is. It is what it is. Like we know we can't get it back. We know all we can do is draw the series, and that's sort of obviously what we'll be trying to do.
Looking ahead to the Oval then, how determined are you? How important is it for you to prevent Australia winning this series?
Yeah, very similar to 2019. We had to go to the Oval to win that, to draw the series. For us, obviously we'll have to get over this disappointment, today, and then focus on that game, because obviously it is a massive game for us, and 2-2 sounds a lot better than 3-1.
Rory, go ahead, please.
And you've played plenty of Ashes cricket before. Just wondered, looking around the dressing room today, when you knew you weren't going to get the chance to lift the urn this summer, how that left you feeling, really, and what your emotions were?
It was pretty tough. I changed my position in the changing room so much today. Just said if I watch the rain, it will go. Then it didn't go. Went to the back of the dressing room to watch the golf, thinking it might go. Turned my back, still there. Actually, the last 20 minutes was the most frustrating, because I'm not sure why we were still waiting for the play to start. I think we probably could have shook hands about half an hour before, but just frustrating day when obviously the weather sort of dictates the outcome of a game. But shame. And
you said after Lords that the job was pretty clear. It was 3 wins. That everyone seemed to row in hard behind that must-win mentality. Is it going to be easy to get the guys up to the level they were at the first 3 days here when you head to the Oval, or is there going to be a natural gut punch about not being able to get over the line here?
No, I think it's going to be. I think what we've done, the mentality and the mindset that we have within the dressing room is that is it. It's go out and win. Go back to the New Zealand series, go back to the Pakistan series. We could have taken it easy in that last game, knowing we won the series, but we didn't. We still went out there with the exact same mentality and how we wanted to play the cricket. Even though we'd already won the series, and every time I walk out to the field, that's all I encourage the players to do, is just concentrate on what you need to do as an individual to influence the game in the right way. And if it doesn't happen, you've still got another opportunity to do that on a different day or a different session. So, everything that we do as players is to try and just be as positive, and hopefully everything we do results in a win for England.
We'll take questions to our right. Malik, Mel, Stefan and Will.
Hi Ben. Obviously the disappointment of not being able to win back the Ashes, but is there also disappointment at missing out on what next week could have been in terms of an occasion and the big picture stuff around what that decider might have done for Test cricket in this country?
I think it would have elevated everything that the series has already done for Test cricket, especially in England. But I think what we've managed to do up until today anyway has done wonders for cricket in England. I think we'll still have the support that we have done throughout the series next week. There's no doubt if we managed to get the result of this game, then next week would have been a very, very special week in the history of not just Ashes cricket but English cricket. So, we'll be treating it as every other game, and I hope that the support we get would still be there or thereabouts the same if it was 2-2.
Mel, go ahead.
Ben, how much do you take from I guess, how much you were on top of this game and on top of Australia in this game. And then also the win at Headingley, does that help going into the last game of the series, even though it's obviously the disappointment of a draw here?
Yeah, I think you look at the pressure that we obviously came into Headingley and this game with, about both of those games being must-wins, and I think in particular the cricket that we did get in this game was potentially maybe an opportunity for a team to play it safe and just wait and see what the outcome of a game might be. But we didn't do that. We won the toss, bowled straight up 320, got 570 and at 5.5 runs and over, and then took 5 Australian wickets, and then the rain came. So we definitely didn't shy away from what we needed to do. We're always putting our front foot forward and just tried to press the game as hard as we possibly could. And that's obviously, as a captain, is very proud to look back on as a leader of the 10 other guys who were out there. So look, I'm incredibly proud of what everyone did when we had the opportunity to go out there and play cricket, and it's just unfortunate that we've only managed to get 3 hours in over the last 2 days.
Yeah, and just obviously as captain, you're going to have to help get this team out. Is there anyone who helps you get up then over the disappointment?
No, I've managed to get myself up, actually, to be honest. It's an incredible honour to be able to lead this team. And said in the dressing room before that, the rewards for your work isn't what you get, it's actually what you become. And I think what we've managed to become as a team that people will remember. I said that well before the series started, that I want our team to try play a game and try and play a brand of cricket that people will always talk about. And I think regardless of how the series end up, people will always talk about us. So for me, being the leader of this certain type of cricket, and to be able to actually sit here and say that we've achieved that over the last 18 months is something that I find very easy to be able to get out of bed and go out and play cricket.
Stefan, go ahead.
Ben, obviously massively frustrating that you played so well this week and were denied the chance to level the series by the rain, but is it a bigger disappointment that you found yourselves 2-0 down in the first place and left yourself such a big job over the last 3 tests?
No, not really.
Will, and then we'll go John Etheridge, Dan Bretting and Simon.
Ben, it's been a while since you drew a game. I think you were trying quite hard to eliminate that from Test cricket. Is it still just as grim a feeling to draw games?
Yeah, I think this is the first draw, isn't it, for us so far? Yeah, so it's no fault of our own. So try and take the positive out of everything, to be honest. But look, we did literally everything that we possibly could, and yeah, just sometimes the mother cricket and, well, I was about to say weather cricket there, but it doesn't make sense, but the weather just didn't help us. Look, we can't change that. It's just unfortunate. It's a tough pill to swallow, knowing that that's obviously been the reason why we sit here with the draw, but well, we've done everything we possibly could in the hours of play that we managed to get. After a start, we were completely and utterly dominant throughout the hours of play we had. So yeah, it's a shame, but oh well.
Could I just get a quick kind of health update? Is everyone? Do you expect to be able to name an unchanged squad? Is Chris Wokes all right? Was suggesting he was a bit stiff yesterday.
It's always a question when few people are around at the end of a game that gets asked, and probably always get the same answer. See you tomorrow.
Okay, let's go to John.
Ben, do you think 2-1 is a fair reflection of the way the series has played out so far? Do you think Australia have been the better team?
Well, I think if this game went without rain, we probably would have been favourites to be sat here 2-2. Quite a hard question to answer, I think.
I mean, a lot of people might say you've actually been the better team. You've dominated the series a large parts and find yourself 2-1 down.
Yeah, I think the way to answer that is, like, you look at the games before this one. It's come down. All the games have been so tight, and it's come down to the moments where one or the other team needs to be better in those those moments. And the first 2 games, Australia were better than us in those moments. I think they were very small, but those small moments that the opposition win over you is probably the factor which gives them the result. And I think the first 2 games, that's what happened there.
We'll finish off with one each with Simon, Scott, Mike Walters, and then Dan Bretton to finish.
Hi. You've lost the first couple of games of the series, and obviously you'll have experienced defeat many times in your career. How does drawing a game that you've dominated compare as a feeling to the defeats that you've had to deal with?
Yeah, I think they're sort of completely different. Where the first 2 games we lost, we obviously played some brilliant cricket in those games. We played some, cricket that, we knew we could have been better at. Whereas this game, I can't actually look back and say, we could have been better there, because I think we're pretty much perfect throughout the whole game where we played. As I said earlier, bowling Australia out and then scoring the runs we did at the pace that we did. Can't really say we got anything wrong, to be honest, throughout this game. So, yeah, it is a bit tough to say we ended up with a draw when we've dominated the cricket that we managed to get in.
Ben, I know you say that Australia won the key moments in the first 2 games, and ultimately that's what sort of decided the fate of the series there. Are there moments or specific moments that you regret or wish you had over from those first 2 games, whether it's, the batting on day 2 at Lords or declaration at Edgbaston or missed chance? I don't know. Are there certain things you look at and you think, I wish I had that over?
Yeah, probably the catch I dropped off Nathan Lyon. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, that's the honest question, yeah.
Any others, or is that just the one that sticks out to you?
I think that's probably the biggest one, to be honest, yeah.
Mike, and then we'll finish with Deb. Thank you.
Is this the worst you've felt as an England captain, sitting here now, knowing the Ashes are gone?
It's tough to feel bad as an England captain.
Fair enough. Dan, last one, please. Thank you.
Ben asked Pat before about Mark Wood's contribution to the series. Can you just talk about his contribution from your perspective and how that's, I suppose, added strings to your bow these last couple of games? And I suppose on the back of that, it was obviously touch and go whether he could play in the first or the second test. Sort of how close he came. Yeah,
look, he's been so impressive. Obviously having someone who has the ability that he has with the ball to bowl as fast as he does is obviously a massive weapon for any team to have. Obviously the impact he had at Headingley and with his 5 wickets, and even here, just that the spell where you got Smith and Travis out, massive game changer for us there. 2 massive players for Australia in the middle order there, and I think having that X factor, as we call it in sport, is obviously a huge thing to have as a captain where things just sort of looking a bit dry and you're going like, where am I going to get a wicket from? You can just throw the ball to Woody and you just feel like he's just going to create a chance when he's got the ball, but also the partnership in which he bowls with it, the person at the other end. You shouldn't underestimate when Woody's bowling as fast as he does, that actually the pressure's always on the batsman when they face the ball at the other end as well. So yeah, it's great to have someone like Woody in your team who can bowl like he does. You can use him in many different ways. Bowling short, when the ball's swinging, bowling at 95 mile an hour, conventional swing's tough. And then, we managed to get a little bit of reverse swing yesterday actually. And so yeah, it's just great to have. And look, I think as well, when someone puts their body through what Woody does every single time he bowls a ball, it's quite obvious. You can see why these people get injuries, because it's a hard thing bowling. Not that I do it anymore, but it's probably why. But yeah, he's just been incredible. He's great in the dressing room. He's brilliant to have around. He's just a constant ball of energy. But he would run through a brick wall for this team. And if he's 80%, 85% next week, he'll still be chomping at the bit to get a game.
In the first 2 tests, how close he was?
Look, I think we played it really well with Woody. We could have potentially played him in the second game, but I think the risk v reward was favoured towards the risk if we were ask him to go through that. So look, when you get 2 games out of Woody like he has done in the series so far, you look back and say he probably made the right call, because you'd rather have him for longer than risk him in one game and then lose him for the rest of the series.